ESPN. 2 of the 22 women to file lawsuits against Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson came forward with public statements today. Ashley Solis, one of the massage therapists that accused Washington of sexual misconduct.
I suffer from panic attacks, anxiety, and depression. I am in counseling as a result of Deshaun Watson's actions. I hope he knows how much pain he's inflicted on me emotionally and physically. And I hope he knows how much pain he's inflicted on these other survivors.
The NFL issued a statement to our Mike Garafolo, quote, "The allegations are deeply disturbing and we take these issues very seriously." Immediately following news of the first allegations last month, and as has been reported, we initiated an investigation under the NFL's personal conduct policy. We are continuing to closely monitor all developments in the matter. Let's bring in our own Mike Garafolo here. Mike, what else can you tell us about Watson's situation?
Well, first of all, Patrick, I can tell you that as part of that investigation, the NFL has been in contact with Tony Busby, the attorney representing the women who are accusing Deshaun Watson of sexual misconduct. Ashley Solis, one of them. The other one that came forward today, her name is Lauren Baxley. She was not at the press conference, but she did provide a letter to Deshaun Watson. Her therapist recommended that she write it in the form of a letter to Watson, in which she accuses Watson of forcing her to touch certain areas on his body that she did not want to touch, and also to have a nude massage, despite her insistence that he be draped during the massage. Now, Rusty Hardin, the attorney for Watson, had a response later in the day to the press conference in which he provided information that Solis and her attorney at some point contacted Watson's attorney, at least an attorney for the firm that represents Watson for his on-field contractual purposes, requesting a $100,000 payment that Hardin termed, quote, hush money. That was to counter Solis' statement and also what Busby has said regarding the women not looking for money in this case, but rather to come forward to discourage Watson from ever doing this to anyone ever again. Meanwhile, the Texans had no comment today, but they have said in the past that we, quote, take this and all matters involving anyone with the Houston Texans organization seriously, and they do not anticipate making any additional statements until the NFL's investigation concludes. That goes on, as does this case. We shall see where it goes. Busby did say that more of the women who, to this point, are anonymous are considering coming forward. We shall see if that's the case in the near future.
And we will see when they do come forward. We'll get the news from Mike Garafolo as well. Thank you, Mike. Vikings cornerback Jeff Gladney turned himself into Dallas police Monday in connection with an alleged assault that happened over the weekend. He's charged with third-degree family violence involving a 22-year-old woman. The Vikings say they are aware of the events and are in the process.
But what happens now? Is a not-so-great New England the new normal? Or was this an enjoy it while it lasts kind of deal?
Well, you might as well style it up.
We're resetting rosters and expectations in the AFC East right now on NFL Total Access.
Time for a roster reset presented by Chipotle. Let's run through some of the notable additions and losses in the AFC East. And, oh, yeah, almost all of the additions are Patriots, other than Manny Sanders going to Buffalo and a couple of second contract wideouts in Will Fuller and Corey Davis going to Miami and New York. So let's bid a good evening to Kim Jones and Mike Giardi as we reset the rosters in the East. Kim, where does the balance of power lie right now after the start of free agency?
Well, you know, you have to look at the end of the season really as well, don't you? And I think the Bills learned how to win in 2020 to the point where after that season ended, they identified Kansas City as their next bar to clear. And they knew in that championship game that they have a long way to go to beat the Chiefs in that kind of setting. So I think it's interesting to see how far the Bills have come in a relatively short period of time under Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott, with that guy, Josh Allen, throwing the football. The Patriots certainly, in my mind, haven't forgotten how to win. Certainly not while Bill Belichick's there. Miami, a couple of year head start with Brian Flores, and of course that head start over the Jets, who right now are really trying to build under Robert Saleh. And the best news there, Patrick and Mike, is that every free agent who signed with the Jets, where I was on the Zoom call, mentioned Saleh. as one of the key reasons that he signed with the Jets, and that's good news for the Jets as a franchise.
Kim, when I look at this, it's the Bills' division, right? And the big reason it's the Bills' division is because Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the division and one of the best quarterbacks in football based on how he played last year. I'm really excited to see him take that next step. So they have that building block, but it's also the culture that Williams and Bean have, McDermott rather, and Bean have built there that allowed them to sort of ascend to this role and take over the division. And obviously the Patriots didn't like the way it felt, and that's why they were as aggressive as they were to try to rebuild their roster via free agency. But they still have questions at quarterback. Miami's an intriguing team for me also because I think, to your point, Brian Flores has built this thing up. And they were a 5-win team. They took the leap close to the playoffs. Now they've got to step over that line and be a playoff team for years to come.
As you guys highlighted, having a quarterback means that's a lot less work to do, and Buffalo certainly has theirs. But which team has the most work to do, Kim, between now and the draft?
Well, listen, it's probably the Jets from where they are starting. And Joe Douglas in his conference call today explained to us about trading away Sam Darnold to the Panthers, how it hurt, but it was the right thing to do. And that absolutely signals, not that we didn't already know it, and DJ was at the top of the show talking about it, but that guy, Zach Wilson, will be the quarterback of the Jets after this draft, unless something completely unforeseen should happen. So for the New York Jets, they are building literally a foundation. I do think it's going to take a while. I think they understand that. Joe Douglas has a 6-year contract. He's almost 2 years into it, so he's got a ways to go, and he will need some of that time to build the Jets into a real contender. I have to believe Robert Saleh loves the season Quinnen Williams had last year. They did bring in pass rusher Carl Lawson, who will help indeed. And just one more note on the Bills. Generally speaking, they are bringing back everyone they wanted to bring back. Their entire offensive line comes back. Matt Milano came back. Isaiah McKenzie came back. We're talking about guys who took lower market deals because they wanted to be in Buffalo. It has become a destination. A couple of these other teams in the AFC East trying to become that same kind of destination.
Yeah, Kim, in many ways, I look at the Buffalo Bills and what they did via free agency and liken it to what Tampa Bay did, right? Run it back. They got all their guys to come back. And as you mentioned, a lot of guys taking less to play in Buffalo and stay with the Bills as they build that program to what they hope is a Super Bowl contender with Josh Allen. Heck, they were a Super Bowl contender this past season. The team that I highlight here, though, is the Miami Dolphins. And I mentioned the steps that they've taken under Brian Flores, but there were some interesting things that have happened in this offseason. They obviously didn't spend a ton of money because they did that a year ago, but a couple guys they brought in as key pieces, Shaq Lawson and Kyle Van Noy, were sent packing after just 1 year in free agency. So it's been sort of an uneven roster build for them in that regard. But to me, it's Tua. You've identified him. You're sticking with him. That at least appears to be the plan again, unless something crazy happens here. So now it is all about surrounding Tua with the talent, the pass catchers. Is it Kyle Pitts? Is it Jamar Chase? Is it Smith? Is it Waddle? Whoever they view as that piece, they need to go get at number 6 to give Tua the tools that he needs to be successful in this league. All kinds of people questioning whether or not, well, you know, was it good for Tua this past year? Was he the player they thought he was going to be? Hey, the dude is about a year removed from major hip surgery, and he went 6-3 as a starter. He's healthy now. He's got the full off season. They're going to get him the weapons, and now we'll see if he can take that next step.
And we've got some potential quarterback stability in a division that hasn't necessarily had it, other than one notable change that we saw yesterday, thanks to Mike and Kim. Speaking of the change at quarterback for the Jets with a tweet thanking Sam Darnold, the former number 3 overall pick, for everything that he has done at his time at Florham Park and playing there in MetLife. As we get Cynthia Freeland back here with Mike, Rob, and Hawk. Guys, let's start right there with the Jets and the decision. Mike, Rob, was it the right call to go ahead and punt on Sam Darnold at this point in his career?
Well, you know what, Patrick? At first, I didn't think it was a great idea, but just as you look more at this move, I think it was the perfect move to make, right? Because you look at the National Football League and the way to build your rosters to have a quarterback on a rookie deal. That way you can pay all the weapons and put a team around him and lay a foundation. You look at the last 8 or 9 years. with the exception of Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, that's how the Super Bowl winner has came to fruition, right? Young quarterback, you build the team around him. And you look at Joe Douglas. Joe Douglas said it all out there today. He said, you know, something along the lines of, if we weren't picking number 2, maybe we wouldn't be having this conversation. And I think that. I think if they weren't picking number 2, Sam Darnold would still be a New York Jet, and they'd have to do what they have to do to build around him. But having a number 2 pick in this draft was something that they've cherished. They like the quarterbacks in this draft. So, yeah, it was the perfect thing to do right now for this moment for this team.
I completely agree, Imrov. I mean, look, you got a new head coach, you got a new regime. He is going to want to build with his guy. He's been a part of this offense, talking about Robert Saleh for a very long time. They bring in offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur. They know the kind of quarterback they want for this system. And you can't fit a Sam Pegg into a Zach Hole, all right? Listen, the other part of this is that for Sam Darnold, it's actually the best for him, too, because he needs a reset. He spent time in this offense in New York under Adam Gase. I liken it to the Tannehill situation. Tannehill gets a change of scenery, new team. He doesn't even look like the same player. I expect that same thing to happen for Sam Darnold because he has shown promise at times, and a change of scenery is great for the Jets and it's great for Darnold.
I'm actually going to echo what both of you said, but add some numbers to it because it's all about opportunity cost. So the opportunity for Sam Darnold this season, sure, $750K. But you had to decide today, right now, the Carolina Panthers did, whether or not to exercise that option, which was for $20 million in the 2022 season. So what you're really seeing here is the opportunity for $20 million for Carolina feels a lot better than for the Jets. The opportunity to pick number 2 this season and get a quarterback for 4 or 5 more seasons on a rookie deal, that's a huge opportunity cost. Actually a win-win for both.
Yeah, opportunity cost, real thing. Sunk cost is a fallacy. So the Jets maybe have a chance to see that and evaluate that rationally. Thank you, guys, as we look ahead to the Sam Pegg in Carolina. Thanks for that, Hawk. Coming up, we got a segment for you to participate in next. Hold your phone and scan this QR code. You're going to be able to play right along with us. We've never had quarterback. And now we're going to have you guys play a game right along with us. It's thumbs up or thumbs down, and it's relating to the NFL draft. Scan the QR code. Provide your answer so that your view of the 2021 draft can be compared to that of our own scout and analyst, Daniel Jeremiah, who is here yet again to defend his particular mock draft, this one 3.0. DJ, we will start here with the Lions at 7. You've got Justin Fields going there. Explain yourself to the audience and to these two gentlemen.
Side at the quarterback position, you're chasing that ceiling, and Justin Fields just brings you more than you have with Jared Goff. They're not committed to Jared Goff long term. They can be patient with Justin Fields, but he gives them more upside. He's just got more to him. There's a reason why the Rams moved on from Jared Goff, and if you're the Lions, even though he just got there, if you've got a chance at Fields, you take him.
Mike Rob, thumbs up, thumbs down.
DJ, I love you, bro, but I'm gonna have to give you a thumbs down on this one.
Boy.
Sorry, my jacket a little tight. I can't get my thumb up there like I want to, but I think Justin Fields is just too good. I think he should be off the board before number 7. I don't know how with your relationship with
that wasn't the question.
Jared Goff, but it seemed like you don't like him too much.
You're cheating the whole game.
I'm just saying, it seemed like you don't like him too much. No, I'm not. Justin Fields, so I'm gonna give you a thumbs down because I think he should have went earlier. How about that?
What you got? Thumbs up, thumbs down.
I'm going thumbs up, and I will say it sounds like Rob agrees because if he's there at number 7, of course it's the right pick.
Yeah,
this guy has the most ability.
What am I missing?
You know, and exactly. Also for the Lions,
man, leave me alone.
they're in a situation they're going to need a lot of weapons. They need their quarterback to be able to make plays a lot of different ways. Obviously, Justin Fields can do that. It's absolutely the right pick, DJ.
So let's see. The fans voting, folks watching at home, 66% say thumbs up. They're right there with you, Hawk, and you, DJ. That is the right move there at number 7. So let's go up to number 15 now. Micah Parsons, 15 to New England. Provide some context for that spot, DJ.
Well, I already know that Mike's going to give me a thumbs down because I know I'm going number 1. His Penn State guy's not going number 1 in the draft. I've got Trevor Lawrence going there. But I'll explain my case anyways. Look, the Patriots have had 3 top 15 picks under Bill Belichick. They've gone to the front 7 with all 3 of those picks. And Parsons, to me, look, I've seen what he does off the ball. I'm not so convinced he couldn't just line up as an edge rusher and get you double-digit sacks. He's that type of an athlete, that type of a football player. Versatility, athleticism, it's always going to be coveted in New England.
Mike Robb, thumbs up, thumbs down.
DJ, you know what? I know I loved you for a reason, man. That's a big old thumbs up right there, man. He's like Dante Hightower 2.0, right? Speed, athleticism. He can cover guys out of the backfield. He can be the underneath coverage for tight ends. And you're right, DJ. I really think he can get double-digit sacks, whether it's from the edge or blitzing from the middle of the defense. So, yeah, I like your pick, brother.
Hawk, is it unanimous?
I'm going 2 thumbs up here. Great pick. I mean, this guy is probably the best defensive player in the draft, and the Patriots benefit because there's so many great quarterbacks that he falls to 15. That would be a perfect case scenario for them. Their defense a year ago, 20th against the run, 24th against the pass. They're known for having great defenses. With Micah Parsons, they get a generational talent who can be the anchor behind their 3-down player who can really make a difference in that division.
And you folks at home, allow you to use my thumb here. Thumbs up, 58% agree with DJ, Mike Robb, and Hawk on that one. Let's go to another one. This one might be controversial. DJ, you have no running backs in the first round.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I don't have running backs. I have 3 running backs that are in my top 32 players. So I have first-round grades on running backs, but in talking to folks around the league, I continue to hear, we're just going to wait. We're not going to do it in round 1. So that's why I think there's a chance we don't see a running back go in the first round. But I would like to encourage the audience, if you will scan that QR code, we can actually chip in together and buy Mike a jacket that fits. So just got to hold the phone up there, scan it, and then we'll take care of it.
DJ, you crazy, bro. You crazy. I went to the gym this morning. That's why it's like that. But look, I'm going to get his thumbs all the way down, bro. All the way down. 2 thumbs all the way down. Look, man, I honestly think running backs need their own CBA. And I keep saying that. We're not going to get into that conversation because we don't have enough time to get into that conversation. But, you know, I think you're right. It's thumbs down, but I do think you're right.
It's like
hey,
right
man,
here.
don't hate the player. Hate the game, Rob. I'm going thumbs up on this. You can get really good running backs late in the draft. The value, man. You got to go get you a tackle, get you some edge rushers, get you a quarterback, get you a wideout, Mike Robb. Why would you go running back in the first round when there's wideouts available? It doesn't make sense.
Because you run to win the championship, Hawk. Because you run to win the championship. How about that? How Tom Brady get his ring?
Right.
By turning around and handing it off to Super Bowl Lenny. That's how he got it. Don't get me fired up. I'm going to start sweating with my tight suit on.
Perhaps that is,
by the way, they got
the
Super Bowl
image
Lenny
that people had when they were voting, because 71%. 71% DJ say thumbs down. They want the running backs back in the first round, so they're right there with Mike Robb. Hey, thank you guys for playing. Thumbs up, thumbs down right here with these gentlemen, all finely kempt with nice suits. On the way to becoming the most feared edge rusher, he has sacked Cam Newton, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, and Patrick Mahomes. But the biggest tackle of Max Crosby's career is the one that he made on himself. The whole story is coming up next.
The commissioner's coming up with the pick right here.
Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray.
Trevor Lawrence, everything to look for in a franchise quarterback.
Justin Fields has phenomenal skill, the arm strength, the athleticism.
This kid, Zach Wilson, the buzz is out of control. His highlight reel is incredible.
There he is, the Heisman Trophy winner.
One of the greatest receivers ever to play in college.
You guys ready? In sacks with 10, then 2020, 7 sacks, but still had 29 pressures. What changed for you between year 1 and year 2?
Yeah, you know, going into year 1, I really didn't have many expectations. You know, I'm a 4th-round guy from Eastern Michigan. So I knew going into my second year, you know, I was going to get more attention after, you know, my first year. So, you know, it was a lot different, you know, playing with no fans, getting, you know, more double teams and chips and things of that nature. But, you know, I had to play through some injuries, and I feel like I grew a lot, you know, as a football player and a person, just persevering through a lot of, you know, adversity. And it was a great year, a great learning year, and I'm really excited to, you know, go into year 3.
Yeah, hoping for a healthy year for you this time around, Max. We know there's a lot of young talent on that defense, but looking back at last year, when things did go wrong for you as a defense, where do you think the biggest issue was?
Yeah, for us, I think it all starts up front. I think that goes with any defense. Getting pressure consistently, is going to be an issue for any offense and any quarterback. So, for us, we didn't do that consistently enough. And, I take responsibility personally. And, this defense, we got to continue to grow. We have a lot of young guys. We have a lot of new pieces, but there's no excuse. We're going into year 3, my class is, and we just got to keep growing. Everybody's got to take that next step and be at a level where we can really dominate every single week.
And as we look back on that video of you guys bothering Patrick Mahomes at a time where nobody was, that rivalry with the Chiefs, how do you feel that matchup has been, and how can it go as you guys get older and better on this young defense?
Yeah, obviously we took a big step from year 1 to year 2. My rookie year, we got blown out, I think, both times by 20 to 30 points. So, this year I felt like we did get better in a lot of ways. The result wasn't that much different. 8-8 is unacceptable, but at the end of the day, we played the Chiefs really well. I think we should have beat them both times. The second game came down to the last second, and they got the win. But, I have confidence in my teammates. When we're at our best, I think we can beat anybody, and we've proven that. We just have to do it consistently and beat who we're supposed to be.
And, Max, you revealed back in March that you were 1 year sober after, you said, getting, quote, lost in the sauce in your rookie year. Tell us about chronicling in that battle for yourself personally, and what advice you might have for anybody that's out there struggling right now.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it's a big step in my growth. As a young man, I'm 23 years old. I've been through a lot, and addiction is something that it's run in my family, and I know personally it's affected my life. So being able to open up about that, and being able to help at least one person out there is all that matters. Me having my platform and being able to reach out and share my story, and show that I'm a human being, not just a football player, was really special. So for me, I'm over a year sober now, and I'm doing really well, and I'm just growing, in every way I possibly can, on and off the field.
Well, Max, we appreciate you as a human and a football player. Good luck to you and the Vegas Raiders here in 2021, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all.
Superman possesses the powers of flight, superhuman strength. Anyway, it could be tough for A-Rod, so he played along there. So let's leave the realm of Jeopardy and get to our own game, a version of what's more likely. Cynthia, I'll start with you. What's more likely, Aaron Rodgers playing for the Packers in 2022 or playing the role of the host of Jeopardy?
Well, you said Packers, so you can be the host of Jeopardy because they tape those all at one time in the offseason, and then you can go play, but maybe not as a Packer. I'm not seeing him redo his deal and make some room. I'm not seeing him give the brass over there at the Green Bay Packers some help to, make that roster a lot better. So I think he's still playing, but is he a Packer? But he could be a host too. Both.
Hulk, your thoughts?
Yeah. I don't think that's how the game works, Cynthia. I'm going to go with he'll be the host of Jeopardy in 2022. That is my answer. I don't think there's any way he plays for the Packers, to be honest. They drafted a first-round quarterback a year ago. He did not like that, and rightfully so. He responded with an MVP season to show he still has a lot left in the tank. I think he's going to take his services elsewhere, and I think the Packers...
For years, we've been talking about his arm talent. I'm a big fan of Aaron Rodgers. But with arm talent like that, Hawk, I expect them to have more Super Bowls. I expect them to be at more Super Bowls and doing more with it, right? And you look at last year, you look at that NFC Championship game, and I know people are talking about Matt LaFleur kicking that field goal. On that drive, right next to the goal line, first play, he misses a pass to Adam Lazard. The second play, he scrambles for no reason. He had a clean pocket, scramble, and then missed the pass to Davante Adams. Third down, he could have ran for a touchdown, and he decided to throw another incompletion to Davante Adams. So, again, it's not on the Green Bay Packers. They've won 13 games each year, right? It's about Aaron Rodgers, one of the top quarterbacks in the National Football League, and also a host of Jeopardy, making the plays in the critical moments.
I mean, how dare he think about throwing an incomplete pass, Imrov? You know what? Is he a different animal and the same beast? That's what I want to ask, because Imrov thinks there's more in the tank. He's the best, Imrov. He's the MVP. How else can he get better? He can't play DN for the Green Bay Packers, and that's where they need to help him on the defensive side of the ball. Yes, if he plays every play perfect and he throws a touchdown every play, I agree. They will be Super Bowl champions, but the reality is they need depth in the defensive line. They had a bad run defense last year. They ranked 24th. They were 27th in pressure rate. Kenny Clark is a beast, but he can't do it by himself. The same way A-Rod can't do it by himself. And Rob, cut the man some slack. He was the best.
They were consecutive. Oh, go ahead, Imran.
You got to make the plays in the critical moments, Hawk. You got to make the plays in the critical moments. We haven't seen Aaron Rodgers take many pay cuts. We don't see him take many pay cuts. We see Tom Brady take pay cuts all the time. You see Tom Brady not be the highest paid guy, and he got 7 of them things. Talking about Super Bowls. Aaron Rodgers, I need more from you.
$70 million around for Tom Brady in these last 2 seasons. So maybe not the egalitarian quarterback he could be, but he had a nice roster as well that knocked off Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers will at least be back here in 2021. We cannot say the same for one Sam Darnold. Big news in New York, big news in the Big Apple yesterday. The Jets trading Sam Darnold to the Panthers. And, of course, the New York Post provided this understated headline, Scram Darnold. Here's what Jets GM Joe Douglas had to say about the move today.
If we were picking later, if we were picking 12, 13, 14, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I think the unique nature of where we are in the draft, picking number 2 overall, and ultimately we just decided that taking a quarterback at number 2 and keeping Sam would not be the best decision for the entire organization.
Joe Douglas gets a fresh start with his own quarterback choice. Let's welcome in Daniel Jeremiah. You've got Zach Wilson replacing Darnold here in the mock draft 3.0. You had Zach Wilson there in mock draft 2.0. So I'm assuming, DJ, you feel pretty confident about Zach Wilson at 2.
Yeah, all signs, as you heard Joe Douglas talk there, are pointing in that direction, that it's going to be Zach, and to the point where I would be stunned, shocked, amazed if he was not the 2nd overall pick. Look, he's got all the ability in the world. His skill set matches up with Mike LaFleur's offense that he's going to install there. So for all those reasons, it just makes too much sense for that not to be the case. And you can lock in on him because you know Trevor Lawrence is going to go 1 to Jacksonville. So that's why we can jump to this conclusion right now.
And so, DJ, let's look over here to the 49ers. That was the big change between mock draft 2.0 to 3.0. They moved up to 3, and Mac Jones has moved from 28 to 29 in your mock draft up to 3 spot. So I'm guessing maybe not the same amount of confidence for Mac Jones at 3?
Well, look, Patrick, I always remind you, right, that the top 50 list, how I stack them, that hasn't changed that much with Mac Jones. He's in the early 30s. But what you hear, that's how you do the mock drafts. And I just continue to hear from everybody that this is going to be the 3rd pick. This is going to be Kyle Shanahan's selection. That's why I have him there. This is going to fly in the face of the phrase we've always heard in scouting, right, in team building. It's all about the X's and O's. It's not about the X's and O's. It's about the Jimmies and Joes. Well, with Shanahan, it is about the X's and O's. He wants the guy who fits his system, and that's why it looks like Mac Jones is going to be the 3rd pick.
You can see the trade details as we look at what the 49ers gave up to get in this position where they could get the number 3 overall pick. It was a significant haul, a lot of that going to the Miami Dolphins, who ended up receiving a host of picks, future picks as well. So now that DJ's laid out the argument for Mac Jones to the Niners there at number 3, it's time to be judged by Mike, Rob, and Cynthia, because DJ doesn't get enough judgment on his mock drafts. Cynthia, your thoughts here on Mac Jones at 3?
So I did some win share metrics here for the 17-game season. It's 3.77 wins added. That would be around quarterback 25 right now for Mac Jones if he were a part of that team. But are we sure that it's going to actually be Mac Jones? Because I think Kyle Shanahan's a pretty smart guy, and I don't know if he would be showing us his cards like this. And I do think that this guy, Justin Fields, also projects well in his offense. So I don't know if I'm totally sold on the fact that Mac Jones is 100% going to be a 49er.
Mike, Rob.
Yes, Cynthia, I am in that wheelhouse as well. I don't know what DJ got in his cup over there, what he's been drinking. But Mac Jones, number 3, I'm not too sure about that, big dog. Because, I mean, honestly, you look at where Kyle Shanahan has been. You talk about that offense being quarterback-friendly and suits Zach Wilson's skill set, right? I think Kyle Shanahan's offense suits a lot of quarterbacks' skill sets. And to me, I think Kyle Shanahan has had a passer like a Zach Wilson. Again, not with all the tricky throws and things like that, but he had a straight pocket quarterback in Matt Ryan. What happened in the Super Bowl when the Atlanta Falcons was there and Kyle Shanahan was the offensive play caller with Jimmy Garoppolo, okay? Just imagine, right, a more athletic guy in that offense. I think it can take this offense to an entirely different level, DJ. So, again, man, I don't know what you got in your cup, man, but you ain't got what I got in my cup. Water.
I'll tell you what, in honor of Aaron Rodgers, who are two analysts that are very upset with the mock draft? I know who that is. That would be Mike Robb and Cynthia Freeland. Look, this is a mock draft based off what we're hearing. Mike, I wouldn't take him. I would not take him there. He's my fifth quarterback. But I'm telling you, I know a lot of people who are plugged in, as do a lot of other folks, and everything we keep coming back to is Mac Jones is going to be the number 3 pick. Really? So what's the line? You might not like it, you might not love it, but it's coming. I totally butchered that line, by the way. That's not how that line goes.
Well,
but
here's
somewhere
the thing,
around
DJ,
there.
Yes, you did, bro.
As we talk smokescreens, right, it would be odd to use DJ as a smokescreen when he's got Mac Jones as his 5th-rated quarterback. So in defense of DJ and the idea of mock drafts, we'll keep things going here towards the draft because the countdown to the 2021 draft has begun. It's history in the making as the future stars of the NFL take the stage live from Cleveland, Ohio. The 2021 NFL Draft presented by Verizon starts Thursday, April 29th in prime time on NFL Network, ABC,